Marcus Washington crouched in the doorway of a shuttered electronics store on Fifth Avenue. Rain hammered the pavement. His cardboard sign sagged in his lap. Homeless veteran, anything helps, God bless. The evening rush scattered around him. Briefcases, designer heels, nobody looked down. He'd been invisible for 3 years now, ever since the factory closed, ever since the eviction notice, ever since his daughter stopped returning his calls. A leather wallet landed near his feet, splashed in a puddle. Marcus looked up. A man in a gray suit hurried past, phone pressed to his ear, oblivious. The wallet lay there, brown leather, expensive looking. Marcus reached for it slowly. His hands were calloused, dirty. The leather felt foreign, soft. He opened it. His breath caught. Credit cards, black Amex, platinum Visa, a driver's license, and cash, so much cash. He counted quickly, $2,300 bills. $23,000. Marcus stared at the money. His heart pounded. $23,000 could change everything. Security deposit on an apartment, work clothes, a phone, a chance to see his daughter again. His hands trembled. Nobody was watching. Nobody would know. The ID showed a name, Jonathan Pierce. Address in Tribeca. Marcus Googled the name on a cracked phone he'd salvaged from a dumpster. Limited data, but enough. Jonathan Pierce, CEO, Pierce Technologies, net worth $2.4 billion. Marcus looked at the cash again. $23,000 was nothing to this man. Pocket change. Less than pocket change. But to Marcus, it was survival. He sat there in the rain for 17 minutes. The money felt heavy. The wallet felt heavier. Then he stood up. His knees cracked. His back ached. He folded his cardboard sign and tucked it under his arm. He started walking toward Tribeca. 2 hours earlier, Jonathan Pierce had left his office in a rage. The board meeting had been brutal. Shareholders demanding answers. Stock prices falling. Competition crushing them. His assistant had triple booked his afternoon. His lawyer was threatening to quit. His ex-wife's attorney had sent another letter about custody. He'd grabbed his coat and stormed out. Didn't notice the wallet slip from his pocket as he climbed into the town car. Now he sat in his penthouse staring at the city below. Floor-to-ceiling windows, marble counters, empty rooms. His phone rang. Assistant. Mr. Pierce, the restaurant called. Your card was declined. What? That's impossible. They tried 3 times, different cards. Jonathan patted his pockets. No wallet. He hung up, checked his jacket, his desk, his car, nothing. His stomach dropped. The wallet had everything, cards, cash, his daughter's photo, the only one he carried. He called his bank, froze the cards, called his assistant, cancel everything. Then he sat down heavily. The photo, he couldn't lose that photo. His daughter was 8 in that picture, smiling, before the divorce, before he'd chosen work over weekends, before she'd stopped calling him dad. Marcus walked 47 blocks. His feet ached. The rain soaked through his jacket. People stared. Some crossed the street. He didn't care. He kept walking. The address led to a building with a doorman, marble lobby, chandeliers. Marcus had never been inside a place like this. The doorman stepped forward, hand raised. Can I help you? Marcus pulled out the wallet, held it up. I found this. It belongs to Jonathan Pierce. I need to return it. The doorman's eyes narrowed, scanned Marcus head to toe, homeless, wet, dirty. I'll take it. I need to give it to him directly. That's not possible. Please, it's important. The doorman reached for his phone. Security. Marcus stepped back. I'm not trying to cause trouble. I just want to return what's his. Leave it with me, or leave the building. Marcus hesitated. The wallet felt heavy again. He could still walk away, still keep the money. Nobody would blame him. Instead, he set the wallet on the counter. Please make sure he gets it. Everything's inside, all of it. The doorman picked it up, checked inside. His expression changed, surprise, then suspicion. "Wait here." He disappeared into a back office. Marcus stood in the lobby. Water dripped from his clothes onto the marble floor. He felt out of place. Wrong. 5 minutes passed, then 10. The doorman returned with another man. Older, gray hair, expensive suit. "I'm building security. Mr. Pierce wants to speak with you." Marcus's heart jumped. "I don't need to speak with him. I just wanted to return his wallet." "He insists this way." They led him to an elevator. The security guard pressed the button for the penthouse. They rode in silence. Marcus watched the numbers climb. His reflection in the polished doors looked broken, hollow. The elevator opened directly into the penthouse. Marcus stepped out slowly. The space was massive. Modern furniture, abstract art, windows overlooking the city. Jonathan Pierce stood by those windows, back turned, phone in hand. "Mr. Pierce," the security guard said, "this is the man who returned your wallet." Jonathan turned. His eyes landed on Marcus, scanned him the same way the doorman had, homeless, wet, dirty. But his expression was different, not disgust, something else. Confusion, maybe. "You found my wallet." "Yes, sir, on 5th Avenue, near 47th Street. Jonathan walked closer, stopped a few feet away. "And you brought it here?" "Yes, sir." "Why?" Marcus blinked. "Because it's yours." There was cash inside, a lot of cash. $23,000, it's all there. Jonathan stared at him. "You counted it?" "Yes, sir." "But you didn't take it?" "No, sir." "Why not?" Marcus shifted his weight. His shoes squeaked. Water pooled beneath him on the hardwood floor. "Because it wasn't mine." The words hung in the air, simple, final. Jonathan's jaw tightened. He turned away, walked to the window, stared out at the city. "Do you know who I am?" "I Googled you, Jonathan Pierce, CEO." "Do you know how much I'm worth?" Marcus hesitated. "The internet said 2.4 billion. Jonathan laughed, bitter. 2.1 now, stock's been falling. He turned back. $23,000 is nothing to me, less than nothing. "I know. But you still returned it." "Yes, sir." "Even though you're homeless." Marcus flinched. The word stung, even though it was true. "How long have you been on the streets?" 3 years. "Why?" "Factory closed, lost my job, couldn't pay rent, got evicted, couldn't find work without an address, couldn't get an address without work." Marcus's voice was flat. He'd told this story before, to shelters, to social workers. Nobody ever really listened. Jonathan walked to a bar cart, poured 2 glasses of scotch, expensive bottle. He handed one to Marcus. Marcus took it, held it awkwardly. "When's the last time you ate?" "Yesterday, church gave out sandwiches." Jonathan picked up his phone, ordered food. Thai, Italian, Chinese, too much food. He didn't ask what Marcus wanted. They sat in silence, Marcus on the edge of a leather couch, Jonathan in an armchair. The city glittered below them. "I have a daughter," Jonathan said suddenly. "Had a daughter. She doesn't talk to me anymore." Marcus said nothing. "I missed her 8th birthday. Big client meeting, couldn't reschedule." Jonathan's voice was hollow. "Missed her 9th, her 10th. By 11 she stopped inviting me." He pulled out his wallet, opened it, showed Marcus the photo. "This is the only picture I carry. She's 8 here, smiling. She doesn't smile at me anymore." Marcus looked at the photo. Blonde girl, blue dress, happy. "How old is she now?" 16. I see her twice a month, court ordered. She spends the whole time on her phone, won't look at me." "I have a daughter too," Marcus said quietly. "Jasmine, she's 22. Haven't seen her in 3 years." "Why not?" "Shame," Marcus's voice cracked. "She's at Howard, pre-med, full scholarship. She worked so hard, and I couldn't even keep a roof over my head. What kind of father does that? Jonathan stared at him. You're protecting her. I'm failing her. No, you're protecting her from seeing you like this. That's love. Marcus's eyes burned. He looked away. The food arrived. The security guard brought it up, 6 bags. Jonathan tipped him $100, didn't even look at the money. They ate in silence. Marcus tried to eat slowly, tried not to look desperate, but he was starving, he couldn't help it. Jonathan watched him, said nothing. After the meal, Jonathan stood, walked to his desk, wrote a check. This is for returning my wallet. He held it out. Marcus saw the amount, $50,000. Marcus stood, backed away. I can't take that. Why not? Because I didn't do it for money. I know, that's why I'm giving it to you. No, I appreciate it, but no. Jonathan's hand dropped. He stared at Marcus. Do you understand what you're refusing? Yes, sir. $50,000 could change your life. I know. Then why? Marcus struggled to find the words. Because if I take it, then what I did becomes a transaction. I returned your wallet because it was the right thing to do, not because I wanted a reward. Jonathan's eyes widened. He set the check down slowly. Nobody's ever said no to me before. I'm sure that's not true. It is. Jonathan sat down heavily. Everyone wants something, money, access, connections. Everyone has an angle. I don't have an angle. I just wanted to return what was yours. Jonathan looked at him for a long moment. What's your name? Marcus Washington. Marcus, I'm going to ask you something, and I want you to think before you answer. Marcus nodded. Would you like a job? Marcus's breath caught. What? A job working for me. Doing what? I don't know yet. But I need someone around me who tells the truth, someone who doesn't want anything from me. Jonathan's voice was intense. Everyone in my life lies. My board, my executives, my lawyer, my ex-wife. They all want something, but you walked 47 blocks in the rain to return my wallet. You refused $50,000. That's integrity. I can't buy that. Marcus's hands trembled. Mr. Pierce, I appreciate the offer, but I've been homeless for 3 years. I don't have work clothes. I don't have references. I don't even have a phone that works. I'll provide all of that. You don't know me. I know enough. Jonathan stood, walked to the window. I've spent 20 years building this company, made billions, and I'm miserable. My daughter hates me. My marriage failed. I have no real friends, just people who want things. He turned back. You had every reason to keep that money, every justification, but you didn't. That tells me more about your character than any resume ever could. Marcus felt tears building. He blinked them back. I need time to think. Take all the time you need, but first let's get you cleaned up. Jonathan led him to a guest room, showed him the bathroom, marble, heated floors, a shower with 6 heads. There are clothes in the closet. They'll be too big, but they're clean. Take a shower, sleep here tonight, we'll talk in the morning. Marcus stood in the doorway. Why are you doing this? Jonathan's expression softened. Because 3 years ago I was walking past a homeless man. He asked for help. I didn't even look at him, didn't break stride, and I've thought about that moment every day since. He paused. I can't fix that, but maybe I can fix this. Marcus showered for 40 minutes. Let the hot water wash away 3 years of street grime. He hadn't felt clean in so long. He'd forgotten what it felt like. The clothes in the closet were expensive, designer labels. He chose the simplest option. Black t-shirt, jeans. They hung loose on his frame. He found Jonathan in the kitchen, making coffee. Feel better? Yes, sir, thank you. Stop calling me sir, it's Jonathan. They sat at the kitchen island, drank coffee, talked. Jonathan told him about the company, the pressure, the board, the failing stock, the competition. Marcus listened, Asked questions, simple ones but good ones. When's the last time you talked to your employees? Not the executives, the people actually doing the work. Jonathan blinked. I don't know, years maybe. That might be your problem. What do you mean? You're so far removed you don't know what's really happening. The board doesn't know, the executives don't know, but the people on the ground, they know everything. Jonathan stared at him. You're right. They talked until 3 a.m. about business, about life, about daughters they'd failed. I need to see Jasmine, Marcus said quietly, but I can't, not like this. What if you weren't like this anymore? What do you mean? Work for me 6 months, prove yourself, then go see her with your head up. Marcus's throat tightened. You really mean this? I really do. What's the catch? No catch, just honesty. I need someone who will tell me the truth, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Marcus nodded slowly. Okay. Okay. I'll do it 6 months. Jonathan smiled, actually smiled. Good. The next morning Jonathan took Marcus shopping. Suits, shoes, a phone, a laptop, everything he'd need. The sales associate stared, whispered. Jonathan ignored them. 3 suits, black navy gray, 5 shirts, 2 pairs of shoes, and a watch. He turned to Marcus. What else do you need? Marcus felt overwhelmed. This is too much. It's not enough. What else? I need a place to stay. There's a corporate apartment building, 2 blocks from the office. You'll have a studio, furnished. Marcus's eyes burned. Why are you doing this? Jonathan's expression turned serious. Because you gave me something I haven't felt in years. What's that? Hope. Marcus started work on Monday. Jonathan introduced him as a special consultant. The executives were confused, suspicious. Marcus didn't care. He had a job, he had a purpose. Jonathan gave him an assignment. Talk to everyone, janitors, security guards, assistants, interns, find out what's really happening in this company. Marcus spent 2 weeks doing exactly that. He ate lunch in the cafeteria, rode the elevator with mailroom staff, asked questions, listened. What he found shocked him. The executives were lying, not maliciously, but they were so disconnected from reality that they didn't know what was true anymore. Employees were overworked, underpaid, ignored. The best people were leaving. The company culture was toxic. Marcus compiled a report, showed it to Jonathan. Jonathan read it in silence. His face went pale. This is bad. Yes. How did I not know this? Because nobody told you the truth. They told you what you wanted to hear. Jonathan set the report down. What do we do? You start listening, really listening. Over the next 3 months, Jonathan changed everything. He started having lunch with random employees. He walked the floors. He asked questions. He fired 3 executives who'd been lying about performance metrics. He gave raises to the people actually doing the work. He implemented new policies based on Marcus's feedback. The stock started climbing, slowly at first, then faster. The board noticed. What changed? They asked. I started telling the truth, Jonathan said, and I started listening to people who tell me the truth. He pointed at Marcus. He saved this company. Marcus sat in the back of the boardroom, uncomfortable in his suit, but proud. 6 months passed. Marcus had an apartment, a salary, savings. He stood outside his daughter's dorm at Howard. His heart pounded. He'd called ahead. She'd agreed to meet him. Her voice had been cold, distant. She walked out, 22 years old, beautiful. She looked like her mother. Dad. Marcus's voice broke. Hi, baby. Jasmine stared at him. You look different. I am different. They walked to a coffee shop, sat across from each other. The silence was heavy. I'm sorry, Marcus said, for everything, for disappearing, for failing you. You didn't fail me, Dad. You got dealt a bad hand. I should have called. I should have tried harder. Why didn't you? Shame, I couldn't face you, couldn't let you see me like that. Jasmine's eyes filled with tears. I thought you didn't love me anymore. What? No, baby, no. I love you more than anything. That's why I stayed away. I didn't want you to see me like that. Didn't want to burden you. You're my dad. You could never be a burden. They both cried, right there in the coffee shop. People stared. They didn't care. Marcus told her everything. The wallet, Jonathan, the job, the second chance. I'm proud of you, Dad. Those 5 words broke him. He sobbed. She held his hand. I'm proud of you too, baby. Pre-med, full scholarship. You did that all on your own. I learned from you. You taught me to work hard, to never give up. They talked for 3 hours, made plans. She'd come visit, he'd come to her graduation. They'd rebuild. When Marcus got back to New York, Jonathan was waiting in his office. How'd it go? Marcus smiled, actually smiled. Good, really good. I'm glad. Thank you for everything, for giving me a chance. Jonathan shook his head. You gave me a chance. You could have kept that wallet, kept the money, but you didn't. You showed me what integrity looks like. He paused. I called my daughter yesterday, actually called her. We talked for an hour, first real conversation we've had in years. That's great. It's because of you. You reminded me what matters. 3 years later, Marcus was VP of Employee Relations. He'd built programs that changed the company culture completely. Pierce Technologies was ranked as one of the best places to work in America. Jonathan's relationship with his daughter had healed. She'd forgiven him. They had dinner every week. The company's stock had tripled. The board was happy. Employees were happy. Marcus stood at a podium in the company auditorium. 500 employees filled the seats. He was giving a speech about integrity. 3 years ago I was homeless, sleeping in doorways, invisible. Then I found a wallet. He told the story, every detail, the rain, the money, the decision. I could have kept that money. Nobody would have blamed me. But I didn't. Not because I'm special, but because I knew that who you are in the dark matters more than who you are in the light. Applause filled the room. Mr. Pierce gave me a second chance, but really I gave him one too. I showed him that integrity still exists, that people can be trusted, that goodness isn't dead. Jonathan sat in the front row, tears streamed down his face. He didn't hide them. After the speech, they stood together in Jonathan's office. You changed my life, Jonathan said. You changed mine. No, you don't understand. Jonathan's voice cracked. I was going to kill myself. Marcus froze. What? The night you returned my wallet, I'd already written the note, already made the plan. I had nothing left. My daughter hated me. My company was failing. My life was empty. He wiped his eyes. Then you showed up, soaking wet, homeless, and you gave me back my wallet. You refused $50,000. You reminded me that good people still exist. Marcus's throat tightened. You saved my life, Marcus, literally. They hugged, both crying. 2 broken men who'd found redemption in each other. The story went public a year later. A journalist got wind of it, wrote an article. It went viral. Homeless man returns wallet, gets job and changes billionaire's life. The article was shared millions of times. News outlets picked it up. Marcus and Jonathan did interviews together. What made you return the wallet? Reporters asked. Because it was the right thing to do, Marcus said. Every time, same answer. Would you do it again? Absolutely. Even knowing you could have kept the money. Especially knowing that. The story inspired others. People started sharing their own stories of integrity, of choosing right over easy. A foundation was created, the Marcus Washington Foundation. It helped homeless veterans get back on their feet, job training, housing assistance, mental health support. Jonathan funded it personally, $20 million. Marcus ran it, helped thousands of people, people like him, people who'd been invisible. 5 years after that night in the rain, Marcus stood at his daughter's medical school graduation. She'd finished top of her class. She hugged him tight. "I'm so proud of you, Dad. I'm proud of you, baby." Jonathan was there too, with his daughter. She was in college now, business major. She wanted to work at Pierce Technologies with her dad. The four of them had dinner that night, laughed, told stories, made plans. Marcus looked around the table, his daughter, his friend, a second chance at life. All because he'd made one decision. In the rain, in the dark, when nobody was watching. He'd chosen integrity, and it had changed everything. Later that night, Marcus sat alone in his apartment. Nice place, 2 bedrooms. He'd come a long way from that doorway on 5th Avenue. He pulled out his phone, opened Twitter. The video of his speech had been shared again, millions of views. Comments flooded in. "This story gives me hope. We need more people like Marcus Washington. Integrity matters." Marcus read them all, then he typed his own message. "5 years ago I found a wallet. I could have kept it, but I didn't, not because I'm a hero, but because character is who you are when nobody's watching. Choose integrity, always. It might just change your life." He hit send. The message spread. Within hours it had been shared 100,000 times. The next morning Marcus got a call, unknown number. "Hello. Is this Marcus Washington?" "Yes. My name is David Chen. I'm homeless. I've been on the streets for 2 years. I just watched your speech, and I wanted to say thank you." Marcus's throat tightened. "You don't have to thank me." "Yes, I do. I was going to give up, but your story reminded me that things can get better. That one good choice can change everything. What can I do to help you, David?" They talked for an hour. Marcus connected him with the foundation, got him into a program. 6 months later, David had a job, an apartment, hope. He wasn't the only one. Hundreds of people reached out. Marcus helped every single one he could. The foundation grew, expanded to 10 cities, then 20, then 50. Jonathan continued funding it. "This is my legacy," he told Marcus. "Not the company, this, helping people who have been forgotten." 10 years after that night in the rain, Marcus stood on a stage at the United Nations. He'd been invited to speak about poverty, about integrity, about second chances. World leaders filled the audience. Cameras broadcast to millions. "I was homeless," Marcus began, "invisible, forgotten. Then I found a wallet and I made a choice." He told the story one more time. The rain, the money, the decision. "That choice changed my life. But more importantly, it changed how I see the world. Integrity isn't about grand gestures. It's about small decisions, made in the dark, when nobody's watching." Applause filled the hall. We live in a world that tells us to look out for ourselves, to take what we can, to win at any cost, but I'm here to tell you that's wrong. Character matters. Integrity matters. Doing the right thing matters. Standing ovation. Every person in that room on their feet. Jonathan sat in the front row, his daughter beside him, both crying, both proud. After the speech, a young man approached Marcus. Couldn't have been more than 20. "Mr. Washington, I just wanted to say thank you. Your story inspired me to start a nonprofit. We help at-risk youth. We've helped 500 kids so far." Marcus shook his hand. "That's amazing. Keep going." "I will, because you showed me that one person can make a difference." Marcus smiled. "We all can, we just have to choose to." That night Marcus video called his daughter. She was a doctor now, working at Johns Hopkins, saving lives. "I saw your UN speech, Dad. You were incredible." "Thank you, baby." "Do you ever regret it, returning the wallet? You could have taken the money and disappeared." Marcus thought about it. "Not for a second. That decision gave me everything, my dignity, my purpose, you. I love you, Dad. I love you too, baby. After the call, Marcus sat on his balcony, looked out at the same city where he'd once been invisible. He thought about that night, the rain, the wallet, the choice. He'd been at his lowest point, had every reason to take that money, every justification. But he hadn't, and that decision had changed everything. Not just for him, for Jonathan, for Jasmine, for thousands of people the foundation had helped. All because of one choice, made in the dark, when nobody was watching. Marcus pulled out his phone, opened his notes, started writing. To anyone reading this who's struggling, who's invisible, who's been forgotten, your integrity is all you have. Don't compromise it, not for money, not for comfort, not for survival, because who you are in the dark defines who you'll become in the light. Choose character, choose integrity, choose right. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, your moment will come, and when it does, you'll be ready, because you never compromised who you are. He posted it. Within minutes, it was shared thousands of times. Comments poured in. I needed this today. Thank you for the reminder. Integrity matters. Marcus smiled, closed his phone, looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, someone else was facing their moment, their test, their choice. He hoped they'd choose integrity, choose character, choose right. Because that's how the world changed, one decision at a time, one person at a time, one moment of integrity at a time. And it all started with a homeless man, a wallet, and a choice made in the rain.